Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the 2024 NSAA State Wrestling Preview Show, powered by Truck Center Companies. Thanks for joining us on Strive Sports. My name is Eric Allgood. We have reached the summit for the wrestling competitions as all of the wrestlers in the state, the best and the brightest, descend upon Omaha for 3 days of the best competition they will face. There will be tears, there will be blood, and there will be all sorts of emotion coming out on the mats at CHI Center. It is truly one of the spectacle events that we have for the NSAA and high school athletes in the state. And we are very excited to be able to preview this outstanding tournament with some of the great coaches who will be a part of this experience. So without further ado, let's get into our show. Welcome back into our State Wrestling Preview Show. We've got Martin Phillips from the High Plains Storm joining us now. And, Coach, first we've got to talk about districts last week because you guys are sending 4 off to state in Omaha. So let's talk a little bit about what the weekend was like for you guys last week to get you into the state tournament.
Yeah, it was a good weekend. We thought we could push, 4 of them into the finals there. We had a tough one at 120 with True Atkins from SEM. We've wrestled him a couple times in the past, always a pretty close match. We've beat him a few times. He's gotten the best of us the last few times. But kind of how we planned it out with those 4, had one more, Caleb Sharman, our 215-pounder, a guy who unfortunately was about there. They lost 2-1 in the heartbreak. But other than that, about the best case scenario for us, really.
Let's talk about the guys who did qualify because you've got a couple of district champions and a couple of runners-up that are going to be heading off to Omaha.
Yeah. Do you care if I just run, up the ladder with the weights? So Hudson,
Yep, go for it.
Hudson's a tough dude, stingy, super. You'll see a lot of matches at 120. I don't know how often you see this, but with him, you'll see a lot of 2-0, 3-1, 2-1. He's just kind of a grinder who just, finds a way, and that's exactly what he did this weekend. When we look at the state tournament, he's got a kid from out west first, I think, and then we go on and see Braxton Hammond, who we wrestled earlier in the year and lost to. And Hammond's good, but we'll see where we go with that one. It was a close match the last time we wrestled. Lance has just been tough all year. He's always been a stud for us in the past, but unfortunately, injuries have derailed him every single year, it seems like. Had a shoulder injury 1 year, a knee injury 2 years, so finally healthy, and the state's kind of getting to see what he can really do. We've just told him since he was a freshman, we truly believe you're one of the best guys in the state, and finally able to show that. This weekend he wrestled. I don't know that he ever went out of the first period at that whole district tournament. So, and he said he had the goal. He wanted to be a district champion, and then we wanted to win a district team title, obviously. So he was really interested in trying to pick up some falls for us for some bonus in there too. So he wrestled well. Gage Friesen, he was a district champion last year as well, and we bumped him back up to 144. We tested the water at 138 there for a while. I don't know if the cut was maybe too much, but we made the decision to go back up to 144, and obviously paid dividends for us. He wrestled well, looked good again. Wrestled a Summerlin kid in the finals. We looked great on our feet. We were tough on our feet. I think we got 3 or 4 takedowns in that match. So we're excited to see him here coming up this weekend. And then Wyatt Yurkowski, he's been our hammer all the way through this year. He's a stud last year, and this year, Wyatt's never lacking. I don't know if you ever watched him in football. The dude's never lacking in confidence. It don't matter what the score is to anything. The dude has got confidence no matter what. And he's really excited for this weekend. He wrestled Maddox Jones, who's number 2 in the state. It's been a 1-point match the last 2 times, and then really opened it up this weekend. I think we won 10-2, put him to his back a couple of times in that match. And Wyatt just looked good. So.
As you get ready for the Omaha experience, one of the things that other coaches, as we've done this show, have talked about, and I love asking about it, but when you get to that heartbreak round, if you get wrestlers in that position, and it doesn't really matter if you're in that semifinal, if you're in that blood round, what is that experience like for a coach to step on the mat and sit in that corner with your guy getting ready to go out there and try to score points and advance his tournament?
No, it's crazy. I'm not very old, so I still remember myself wrestling in those. And, I remember, it is what it is, There's nothing else I can do at this point. But as a coach, it's a mess. Just emotionally, just thinking about it, you got to keep your emotions together better than they do, unfortunately. So the big thing we got going for us is every one of my four have wrestled Friday night before. So every one of them has been in that situation before. Wyatt was in the semis the last 2 years. He lost once, won once. So he's been in the semis. Lance Russell, he was in the heartbreaks last year. We were actually up by 5 points with I think 20 seconds left and got tossed to our back and lost. So he's really looking for some redemption. He's really wanting to make it to Friday night and right that wrong. Gage won last year in the heartbreaks, so he's been there with the highest of emotions going on. And then Hudson lost in the heartbreaks as well last year too. So he's kind of in that same boat with Lance, where we're trying to get a little bit of redemption there. When it comes to actually keeping their minds right, wrestling's just such a hard thing in the sense of you can wrestle for 15 years, and your life, your whole career might be defined in the next 10 seconds. You could even be winning by 10 points in that match, and if you get caught on your back with 5 seconds left and pinned, you still walk away with nothing for your whole career. And I think that's just the craziest thing with wrestling, and just making sure we stay the front, stay focused, and don't be lax in any position. And there's the biggest thing as a coach.
You guys have had a unique opportunity to have Norm Manstead obviously start the program for High Plains. How has it been to kind of pick up that mantle and keep the program moving forward?
Yeah, the biggest thing is just an honor. I mean, the guy is, even outside of wrestling, he's just a great guy. I love going places and they ask about Coach. Everyone's got a smile on their face with him. So I think that speaks more about him as an individual than it does with anything with coaching. His coaching accolades speak for themselves. 50 years, all of his state champions. That all speaks for itself. But just as an individual, the expectation and the way, the reputation he built up this program with is a thing I'm the most proud of after he left. When we enter somewhere, they know what we represent. Everyone knows who we are. And to me, that's the biggest thing with him.
As you get ready to take your guys to Omaha, you've experienced it. You're going to experience it on both sides, right? What is that like? What's your favorite part of going to Omaha besides the actual matches themselves? What's something that you look forward to?
Gosh, that's hard. The whole thing, this weekend is just, it's not even, you get to be a fan again, too. You see all these other kids throughout the whole year, especially those kids who come to our Norm Manstead invite, the Lincoln East, the Columbus High kids that we don't see any other time in the year, and they're in the hallway talking to our Class D kids. I think that's just the coolest thing. And, Wyatt went to Disney. He gets to see all of his buddies again. And then all of our High Plains people have vested interest in these random kids that they might not have ever spoke to in their whole life, but they saw them one time at the Manstead Invite, and now we're the biggest Lincoln East fans in the world, or we're the biggest Columbus High fans in the world, all for something that we maybe saw them wrestle for 2 minutes at an invite. I think that's just the coolest thing, is the camaraderie, everyone coming together. I know we're kind of, going against each other, but everyone's still, the wrestling family, I think, is just the coolest thing when you get down there. It adds to that experience, and I just think it's awesome.
Well, Coach, thanks a lot for the time. I know it's a busy time for you guys, so good luck this weekend in Omaha.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Some of my best memories of my time wrestling in high school for Central City.
Wrestling taught me about hard work and dedication.
When my wrestling career ended with my high school graduation, I entered the military, the United States Army.
25% of our Truck Center Company staff are military. May God bless our troops, and good luck, wrestlers.
At Strive Education, we understand that the world is digital, and that teaching digital media and broadcasting in the classroom can be overwhelming.
That's where we step in. We offer personalized coaching and innovative curriculum, guiding educators to integrate these critical skills into their teaching.
Our programs transform classrooms into future-ready environments, ensuring students are well-equipped for the ever-evolving digital workforce.
To learn more about how we can serve you, go to strive.education today.
Welcome back to our state wrestling preview show powered by Truck Center Companies. We have Lexington girls coach Art Banderas joining us now. And Coach, first of all, the explosion of girls wrestling has been so much fun to watch over the last couple of years. Back again in Omaha for the state wrestling tournament. What does it say about the fact that we have to expand? We've expanded into one class. We're looking at two classes. The explosion of the popularity of this sport. What does it say about the girls and the people that have invested the time into it?
I think it's been great. The credit to us has been um, our community, our administrators, our school board members. The support has just been outstanding here for us. And for us, I mean, for me, I'm not doing it alone. I've got the support of everybody. So as far as for us, it's not just me. I've got a crew behind me that's been supporting me the entire way.
Let's talk about districts last week for the girls. You end up taking 5 girls off to the state tournament. Really tough brackets drawn with just the way the postseason has to go, because this year at least, there's so many girls teams that are involved that it's just it's a kind of an overwhelming amount of brackets they had to do. But talk about how the girls performed and the ones that we'll be seeing in Omaha.
Yeah, I thought our girls did great. We've got a young crew. We've got a freshman and 4 sophomores going. I didn't honestly think this was going to be in our cards this year, but they've done an outstanding job. They've done a great job at buying into the process, and peaking at the right time is something that we talked about from the very get-go. So some of these girls are wrestling for the first time. They're brand new to the sport, so I think they've just done outstanding, and all credit to them. They stuck with us. They believed in the process. They've put in the work. And I'm just really excited to see what they do at the state tournament.
Who are we going to see at the state tournament for you guys?
So at 125, we got Cara Whitrock. She's an incoming freshman for us. We've got Delilah Solis. This is her second time qualifying for the state tournament. Hadley Wolf at 170, a sophomore captain for us. We've got Mackenzie Ferguson, a 2-time state qualifier now. And Ashley Nahara at 235. This is her first year wrestling, and she's been on a run ever since our varsity wrestler went down, and we're just super excited to see what she does for us.
I've talked to other coaches, not just for this show, but over the years, and getting to Omaha and being on the mats at the CHI Center with all the people, the sellout crowd for every single thing you could possibly do with wrestling. It's such an atmosphere. What have you tried to tell the girls to try to get them at least mentally prepared? I'm sure it's got to be difficult to actually be fully prepared for what it's going to look and feel like when you get there.
Yeah, absolutely. Something we've talked about the last couple of weeks, especially going to sub-districts and districts, is just being focused and doing what we've done all year. And it's the teams that can handle adversity, the teams that can handle a tough loss, and focus on the backside. Those are the teams that are going to have success. If you're going to have success as a team, it's not usually the people that are in the front. It's everybody that's working hard on the backside to get those team points. Now, is anything in the cards for us as far as the team? I don't know about that this year. But just being focused and staying true to ourselves, that's going to go a long ways this week.
As a coach, what's something that you're looking forward to seeing in Omaha?
I'm just looking. I'm just excited for our girls. They're young, and I'm just excited for them to experience the state tournament and to get hungry and take that into the off season and see what happens in the future for us.
What is something that you would like to see with, like we said, the explosion of girls wrestling? Perhaps by the time this show airs, we might know a little bit more about adding a second class of girls wrestling in the state of Nebraska. What's something that you would like to see with the girls as the popularity of the sport, as more girls come into the sport? What's one thing you'd like to see that it grows in the right way?
Yeah. I think there's a lot of conversations going on there. I think it's great what's happening. I think the explosion has been awesome. As far as the state tournament and what happens there, I think we're all very lucky to be in the leadership of Ron Higdon, and I think I'm gonna trust that he knows what he's doing, and he's always had the best interest in all of us, and I guess we'll just see what happens there. I think everybody's got their opinions, but I think Ron's going to lead us in the right direction.
It will be fun to see how things do shake out, and looking forward to watching the girls perform coming up this weekend in Omaha. Coach, thanks so much for the time. Good luck, and drive safe.
Yep, thank you. Appreciate it.
Welcome back into our state wrestling preview show. We've got Brian Seabrantz from Grand Island Northwest High School. And Coach, another trip to Omaha for you guys and part of this team. But first, we want to talk a little bit about your district and how you thought the guys performed. You're sending 9 off to state, which is always fun when it's a nice big group. What did you see from your wrestlers, though, in districts last week?
I just really challenged our guys last week to go make a name for themselves, and our kids wrestled like a lot of them stepped up. We moved some kids around weight classes, tried stuff, and I was really pleased with our effort.
Let's talk about your qualifiers. Like we said, you've got 9 of them, a couple of district runners up overall. You were 4th as a team. So let's talk about some of the guys that we'll be seeing in Omaha.
Our first one is Jackson Beauvais Christensen, 106 pounder. Came in with a losing record at the 5 seed, and we upset the 4 seed in the first round, and then he had to come back on the backside. But he's wrestling well right now. We just had a really tough schedule, so I think our kids are battle tested. Like I said, he had a losing record, but he wrestled really well this weekend. Punched his ticket. Then we have Caleb Kuiper at 130. He's been there before, state medalist, and he wrestled well this weekend. He had a tough match in the finals against the Coyle kid from Bennington, but I think he'll be good. I think he has a great chance to medal at state again, so we're looking forward to him. Then we bump up to 126. Madden Middleton, he's a freshman for us. He's wrestled tough all year. He's beat a few state qualifiers. And my thing with him, I just told him, I said, make your life easy, be coachable, and let's just try to get to the finals. And it worked out for us. He made it to the finals. And he had a tough kid in Hauser from Scottsbluff in the finals, which is always good to be tested. And then, but him being a freshman is a huge thing for our program. Then we moved Roland Mendoza up from 132 to 138 because 132 seemed to be a really tough bracket, and he qualified at 138 for us. Senior, the trip going to state. Got a tough draw at state though. Got get from Waverly first round, so they'll just have to battle down there for us. One of our surprise kids is Connor Ramsey at 144. He moved up from 38 to 44 to help Roland out. So he's really a great team player, and he qualified with a 9-22 record. Won in the heartbreak round in overtime. So it's just a really great story for Connor. Come on the last couple of weeks, struggled all year, but I'm really happy for him. Then Theron Johnson at 157. Been in the heartbreak grounds the last 2 years. Finally punched his ticket to state, being a senior. Had a great year, but hopefully he can. I like his draw at state. I think he can do well for us. Zach Cooley at 165. Same situation. He's been there a few times. Just couldn't get that ticket punched, and he finally did it as a senior. He had a tough road. He lost his first round match in the quarterfinals. And had to win 3 in a row to get there. So he's really battled to get there, so I'm happy for him. And then Parker Yendra, another interesting story for us. He was behind in the heartbreak round match and came back and pinned his kid from Norris out of our lineup this year. Only a sophomore, so his future looks really bright for us. And we jump all the way up to heavyweight Joe Stein. Yeah, he switched weights to 15 heavyweight and had an outstanding tournament. Lost to the number 1 kid in the finals. So overall, we haven't had that many qualifiers since about 2012-13. So we're really excited about our opportunity.
You mentioned it a couple times there, but that heartbreak round, whether it's at the districts or it's at state, but especially at state, what for people that maybe haven't experienced that fully, can you kind of tell us a little bit about what you as a coach are feeling when you get guys into that round, knowing that, man, there's going to be some emotion come out in one way or another, and what that's like as a coach to get your guys ready for that?
Well, it's tough. Last couple of years hasn't been very kind to us. Either last year or the year before, I know we had like 9 guys in the heartbreak round. Got 2 guys. It's just a crushing blow to a coach. You want to see your kid get there, and upset and disappointed. Affects you as well. But to be on this side of it this year, it's awesome. We got on a roll that heartbreak round, and we had 6 guys in the heartbreaks, and we got 5 of them through. That was an outstanding day, but it's just a feel good story because they're excited, their parents are excited. We get to send 9 to. That's one of those things those kids will all remember.
Another thing to remember is actually getting to walk onto the mats there at the CHI Center. It's going to be packed. There's not going to be many seats that are left open there. You get the pockets of cheering sections from the different schools. As you get a first-time qualifier ready for that, what do you try to tell them to kind of mentally prepare them for what that amount of eyes watching everything that everyone is doing all the time, and just that experience, because it is, even as a media person, it is like you can feel it on the floor. I can imagine. I can't imagine what's like for an actual coach or a wrestler.
I always talk about to our kids about their mindset when they go out there, trying to have a game plan. Those guys that are first time down there, I said, just kind of close your eyes, relax, take some deep breaths. I just want them to wrestle at their level, and some of them, when they get there, they freeze up. But I don't think there's any really easy way to prepare them for that. But us having 2 freshmen and a sophomore going down for sure. I'm hoping our upperclassmen can help guide those kids a little bit. And sometimes when your teammates tell it to you, it's a little bit than a coach.
So. And the state wrestling event, and it really is an event now with that the NSAA puts on. Aside from the actual wrestling itself, is there anything that you really look forward to when you get to Omaha?
Just getting to see a lot of my coaching friends. Some of us are so spread out, we don't get to see each other a lot during the year. It's good to keep in touch with those guys, and I just want these kids to have a good experience. Like I told our kids yesterday, this is a business trip. We're going down there to eat, and we'll find some time to have some fun when we're there. But don't be happy just to be there. Bring some hardware home, and once you earn that hardware, nobody can take it away.
Sounds great. Coach, thanks so much for the time. Good luck to you and the wrestlers this weekend in Omaha.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Some of my best memories of my time wrestling in high school for Central City.
Wrestling taught me about hard work and dedication.
When my wrestling career ended with my high school graduation, I entered the military, the United States Army.
25% of our Truck Center Company staff are military. May God bless our troops, and good luck, wrestlers.
Welcome back into our state wrestling preview show, almost live as it happens. But Jamie Brown from Papillion La Vista is joining us. Jamie, thanks for joining us tonight. And we're excited because it's the night before the state wrestling championships. Tell me, how has this season gone for you and the girls?
It's been a great season overall. We've had our share of bumps and bruises with injuries and illnesses and just other things in life that get in the way. So we've had some of our wrestlers have had a real stop go season, but overall we've had a lot of success.
So let's talk about districts from last week. Obviously, you had to wrestle pretty well. District championship, 6 girls qualifying for the state championships this weekend. So let's talk about those girls that we'll see on the mats in Omaha.
Sure. Well, I have 6 wonderful ones. In any particular order you want to talk about?
Whatever order you want to start with.
We'll just go by weight class. So Talia Astorino is our 110-pound qualifier. She's a junior this year. She just is a fierce competitor, loves to compete. She's quick. Um, she can be a little bit challenging because she's kind of squirrely on the mat. She's got good hips. She's a strong wrestler. She's really fun to watch. We're looking for big things from her.
Who else do we have?
At 120, we have Jamila Taylor. Jamila is one of our seniors. Jamila is one of the founding members of our wrestling program. This is her third trip to state. Her first year, she placed fourth. Last year, unfortunately, she didn't make it past the second round. But she's back again this year. She's also a real strong wrestler. Have watched her develop over the last 3 years. She's confident. She's cool. She's had some health issues this year that have kind of set her back just a little bit, but she's a very, very strong wrestler, and she definitely has the potential to do well in the tournament.
What are you most looking forward to with the rest of these girls?
You know, all of my girls, I think have really good chances. Jenna Secord is our 135. She's another senior. Again, last year she was a state placer. She placed third. Again, real strong, confident wrestler. She's got strong skills. Great kid. Emma Stice is 145. She's just another one of those fierce competitors. Just loves to get out on the mat and really get into it. She's a real hardworking kid. She's great to watch. Addie Gracer's 155. She's ranked number 1 in the state right now. She's a sophomore. She's got some real solid skills, real potential to be at the top of the podium in her weight class. So does Emma. And then Kirsten Clark is a first time. She's kind of been our goal person this year. She's one of those kids that just gave wrestling a chance, and she's just progressed very nicely throughout her 3 years in wrestling. She's only wrestling for 3 years. And so our goal this year was to get her to state, and she qualified. And, you know, just like anybody else, she's got the potential to move up that ladder.
When it comes to the environment of the CHI Center, what are you looking forward to seeing with 16,000 people for every session, really? All that you can, I've told other coaches that are going to be on the show that even as a media person, I can kind of feel that weight. So I can sort of, but still can't imagine what it would feel like to actually step on the mat and try to compete.
It's electric. And it is, it's a lot. Like you just feel everything in that auditorium. You feel all of the pressure. You feel the voices just kind of create this heaviness in the space, but it's filled with excitement. And you know, we try to get the girls to a tournament every year where the environment is somewhat similar, so that when we get there tomorrow, it's not new. So we usually take them to the Council Bluffs Classic, which has a pretty similar environment. It's a big arena, a lot of mats, a lot of kids, a lot of people. So that when we do get to state, this isn't new. This isn't going to be overwhelming for them. Plus, we have most of our girls are returning, so this will not be a new feeling for them. And we try to get down there early just to become a little acclimated. But I would say that most of them really just feel the excitement of what they're participating in.
As a coach, we want to wrap this up a little bit because we're ready to start the show. So as a coach, what's one thing that you're really excited to see coming up this weekend, whether it happens Thursday, Friday, or hopefully Saturday?
I'll tell you what, the girls' side of state is just stacked. It's stacked with lots of talent, lots of gifted, strong wrestlers. And it's a joy to see how this sport has grown in the state, and love to see girls developing and earning these other opportunities out of high school that they're all searching for. So of course I want to see success from my girls, but I've gotten to know a lot of other girls throughout the state, and of course I'll be cheering for them as well.
Jamie, thank you so much for joining us. I know we snuck you in here right at the end of the show, so we'll get you in the lineup. So I really appreciate the time, though.
Thank you.
Some of my best memories of my time wrestling in high school for Central City.
Wrestling taught me about hard work and dedication.
When my wrestling career ended with my high school graduation, I entered the military, the United States Army.
25% of our Truck Center Company staff are military. May God bless our troops, and good luck, wrestlers.
Welcome back into our state wrestling preview show powered by Truck Center Companies. Scott Townsley is our guest now from Millard West High School. And Coach, you've got another big group coming downtown. The district champs there, 13 different guys have qualified for the state tournament. So let's kind of recap districts just a little bit and tell us what that was, what that experience was like to be able to see 13 different individuals make it onto the state mats.
Yeah, it was a pretty cool experience. Our guys came off of state duels, and on the Monday after state duels, we kind of met and said, hey, let's refocus now. It didn't go the way we wanted it to. We didn't want to finish runner up, but we had to kind of move on past that. And the kids did a great job practicing that week. And we kind of knew when the brackets came out that we had a shot to do something special. We knew Norfolk and Millard North and some of those other teams were going to make a run at us, but we came out and had a great first round. The kids responded really well. They've done it all year, working really hard, supporting each other. And once we got the ball rolling a little bit, it just snowballed. And we got a couple huge pins in the quarterfinals that sent 12 into the 12 and then the semifinals. We talked all week about trying to have a Millard West duel. We wanted 14 guys in the finals, wrestling somebody from another school. Fell a little short. We got 12 in the finals. So it was pretty cool when we did the lineups and 12 kids were lined up there with Millard West gear on. And so that was kind of cool to see.
Talk about what were the guys saying because as a sports guy in general, momentum can be a real thing. It doesn't seem like it necessarily would lend itself to wrestling quite as well, but at the same time it can. Like one guy does something that gets a pin or gets a takedown that you weren't expecting, and it really can energize the rest of the team.
Absolutely. It started with in the quarterfinals with our 138-pounder, Imran Murad, kind of avenged a loss to a Millard North kid, and that got us started. And then, it just kept rolling in the semifinals. Our 106-pounder freshman defeated a kid from Omaha South in the semifinals and got to the finals, and then we were off and running. And so the kids just fed off each other. It was great. I mean, it was so much fun to see. We got 8 seniors in our lineup, and we talked all year about this is your team. You guys lead it. We got great leadership. And so after the semifinals, they got together in the wrestling room and they had their talk and they came out ready to roll in the finals. So part of it is momentum, and part of it is that they've got great leadership. We got Noah Blair at 175 that's kind of leading the group, and the kids follow him. And so it's been awesome to see. It was awesome.
You talk about 8 seniors in your core group there. What is that like as a coach to know that I don't have just a couple guys? Like 8's a really solid number, obviously, on your wrestling team and your program. To be able to say these guys have been through it, they've been through those practices, and they've had those days that are really awesome. They've had those days that aren't so good. And how is it as a coach to be able to kind of roll those guys out and say, this is your team, go for it?
Yeah, I tell you what, last year we had 1 senior. The year before that we had 2. And so coming in this year, we knew things were going to be a little bit different with our practices. But I tell you what, I could, and I don't know if this makes me look bad. I could literally write up on the board, I want you to do these 5 things during practice today, and every one of them would get done without me there. That's just the kind of group they are. it's awesome with all those leaderships because you're not relying on just one kid. If one kid does have a bad day, you got 7 more seniors there to pick the rest of the group up. And so, yeah, it's been a big luxury that we've had that we haven't had in the past. And so it's also helped our JV kids, our JV group, because they don't have to step into a varsity role unprepared, so that's been huge. And now next year we're going to have probably 7 seniors in the lineup that have had 3 years on the JV getting experience. So it's been that's the other luxury that we're going to have with this big group.
So let's talk about the emotions as you get these guys ready now for this week. We've talked about the fact that it's an experienced kind of group, but still stepping on the mats there at the CHI Center with all of those people looking down on you. Even for someone who's not wrestling and not coaching, you can feel that weight of the arena. Yeah. So what do you tell the guys to try to get them kind of ready for what they're going to experience coming up on Thursday?
We try to do this. We started earlier in the year. From day one, I told them we're not going to be scared to talk about winning state championships. Everybody, all the coaches say we're not going to look ahead. We're not going to look ahead. We took a different approach with this senior group and just said we're not going to be scared to talk about it. We're not going to be scared to train about it. And so we've been talking about this, since November. Just these moments going in and not letting it be too big. We go to a couple, we go to Council Bluffs Classic and we go down to Kansas City, Garden City, Kansas to the Rocky Welton tournament. And that gives these kids a chance to be in an arena outside of a high school gym competing at a very high level. And so hopefully these moments that we've done during the season will prepare them. But, we talk about with the young guys, go in and look around, see the sights, do all that. We'll go get our normal locker room. We've had the same locker room since it's moved down to the CHI Center. So we'll go get our locker room early on Thursday afternoon and kind of hang out in there. And, we'll take the young guys around. Where do you weigh in at? Where do you do all this stuff at? And they'll know. And like I said, we've got the seniors they'll lead them. And so it's going to be a normal tournament for us. We're going to try to keep it as normal as possible. We'll leave at the same time. We're not going to do anything exciting, things like that, because we kind of know what we're heading into, and we just want to make it fun for the kids.
What is this event? This state wrestling event has become such a cool event to go to. The tickets are sold out. There's so many people. There's all of these, just the actual show, especially when you get to those championship rounds and you get the smoke and the lights and you get the big introduction and we're on TV. What is your favorite part of the state event as a whole? It's 3 days now. Who knows what's going to happen when we probably have to add some more on the girls' side. But what's your favorite part of this state championship event?
My favorite part as a coach, it's tough. It's Friday night. Friday night's the coolest night in sports, I think, because of the raw emotion. You have the kids on the one side that are wrestling in the blood round, and then you have the kids that are in the semifinals, and so you have such a range of motion. It's so cool to see, though. The Walk of Champions is awesome on Saturday, but Friday night at the CHI Center it's pretty cool to see. And I know people say some stuff about the high school basketball tournament and things like that, but with wrestling, you're right on top. You're right on top of everything, and people are on you. And like I said, Friday night to me is the coolest night in high school sports and in any sporting event. And I think the NSAA does an awesome job of promoting it, and Ron Higdon does a great job of putting it on and everything like that. So it's pretty cool to see.
Well, Coach, it's been a lot of fun watching you guys throughout the year. We wish you nothing but the best of luck down in Omaha.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. It's going to be a great time.
our state wrestling preview show powered by Truck Center Companies. We've got Darren Garfield from Central City. And, Coach, another good year for you guys, 7 different guys heading off to the state tournament. So let's talk first about districts last week and how the guys performed to get themselves to Omaha.
Yeah, well, most every district is an emotional roller coaster. Lots of highs, lots of lows. We always try and tell our guys to try and ride those highs and lows, and just wrestle to our potential and understand that we're going to have some diversity throughout the day. And this year was no different. Really am proud of our guys, though. We had 3 guys punch their way through the top half, which is a little bit easier route, and 4 of those 7 had to come through the backside. And anytime you're wrestling in that heartbreak round, it's a lot of pressure on you. And so for those 4 to get through there on that side was great. We did lose a couple others coming back through, but 7 was a number that I think we can live with. I always hope for 1 or 2 more, but overall very pleased with our guys.
Let's talk about the guys that did make it there. A couple of district champs in there as well.
Yeah, the guy that has been kind of our leader all year long. He's our table setter, and that's Tristan Burbach. He's 42-0, hasn't lost a match since his sophomore year in the state finals. So, he's a guy that our rest of our guys kind of feed off of. He's our energy in the wrestling room. He's our guy that gets guys going every day. And not only is he a great wrestler, but he's a really good leader. So, he was a district champion and also had our heavyweight, wrestled a really great tournament. Riley did a good job. He's had an overall good year. He was a state qualifier last year at 215 pounds, and to see Riley come through this year as a district champion was a really cool deal.
You might have the coolest background of anybody else that we've talked about on the show. Take us through who all is in the pictures behind you there.
Oh, well, these are all of my state medalists in my career, and we have it coded all the way from first place finishers on top to all the way down to 6th place, and that goes all the way around my office. So hopefully we can add some more to that this year. And my high school wrestling coach at Aurora, Bill Wolford, had kind of a similar thing, and he had all of his state medalists on his wall in his office. When I was growing up, I used to go in there and look at it and think it was about the coolest thing I'd ever seen. And he had his were black and white, and his state champions were in color. So I thought, I'm going to kind of go off of him, just change up a little bit. So our state champions are the vertical pictures, and everybody else is the horizontal. So it's that's my change up, my new wrinkle on what he did. So
that is so cool. You guys have a unique amount of energy when you're on the mat coaching. What is it about the sport of wrestling that brings that out of you?
So, it's to me the best part about the sport that we get to have is I get to be a part of each of these guys' entire journey. I've been in Central City for 19 years now, and getting to coach those guys from the very first moment that they step onto our mat in our youth program as 3 or 4-year-olds, first time they put on the wrestling shoes, and getting to be a part of that entire journey, that process from step 1 all the way through, and to see the culmination all the way into high school and see them have that moment when they win a big match, when they win a state championship, or even just, whether it's a state qualification, whatever it may be. I think that's just the emotion of celebrating that one moment, but also I know the sacrifice, I know what they've put into this entire process, and seeing that growth from point A to point Z and everything in between. To me, that is the absolute best part about the sport.
And starting it so young, which is how great programs do it, right? You have to have them have that knowledge, that basis to begin with. How important was it to get that going when you first started at Central City?
I'll be honest, I had a very great situation that I came into. Our youth wrestling program, the foundation was already there. I got here with a program that was ready to pop. Guys like Matt Bowling, his son Connor is the head coach at St. Paul now, and he came through our program. But Matt did a great job. Gary Marish, some of those coaches that were there before me, and even were there, my assistants then when I took over, and those guys had that youth program absolutely rolling. And so stepped into a really great situation, and I took it as a challenge to continue what they had already established. And so all of my assistant coaches are bought into that. We call ourselves all-level coaches. We are not just designated just high school, middle school. We are K-12 program, and all my coaches buy into that. And so these guys, good or not, they get to deal with us as their coaches from 5 years old all the way through. So I think it builds continuity within our program. But like I said, it was a well-established youth program when I got here.
When you get to take guys to Omaha and you get to step on those mats at CHI, and there's 16,000 people in there for every session, whether it's the first one on Thursday or obviously the last one's on Saturday night. What do you tell the guys who haven't been on the mats yet for that type of an experience? Even as a media guy just walking around down there, you can feel the weight of everyone in that building looking down at you. So I can't imagine what it's like to actually coach or wrestle on the mats. So what do you tell those guys to try to get them ready?
Yeah, we'd be lying if we told them that it was going to be just a regular old, tournament. I think they know the stakes. The really good news is a lot of our guys who did come through our youth program, they've been in some of those big type tournaments, whether it's in-state or many of them across the nation, from the Rocky Mountain Nationals to, preseason nationals to, you name it. They have been in those kind of big situations. Obviously, the stakes are a little bit different now when they're in Omaha. And so, but we just tell them, I think with, what any coach would say is just rely on your training. The old, excuse my basketball association here, but the old Hickory Hoosiers, the circle's the same in Omaha as it is in, at Central City. So the dimensions of the mat are the same. So, but I think, it can be pressurized, but I think that they understand that, it's still wrestling. It's just a matter of wrestling our match, doing what we've done to get you there, and hopefully we can perform at our best.
The outcomes of so many years of state are on the walls literally right behind you. But what is something that you as a coach, as a person, look forward to about state and going to Omaha each year?
Just creating those moments. It's a blank slate as we sit here right now. The 2024 state tournament's blank slate. Anything can happen. We get a chance to go create our own legacy, cement our own history. And I think that that's the most exciting thing to me is to think that over the next 3 years, legacies are built, and anybody can come through, and we show them our record boards in our wrestling room. Just talked about it yesterday. The fact that that next slot under each of the 6 state medalist boards is sitting there blank right now, just waiting for somebody's name to appear on there. So, we get to control a little bit of that. Obviously, we're going to have some other guys that are wanting to take those spots away from us, and but I think just the fact that we get to just go down there and create our own destiny is super exciting.
Coach, it's always fun to watch you and the boys wrestle. Good luck this weekend in Omaha.
Appreciate it so much. Thank you for having me on.
That's going to do it for our show tonight. Thanks to everyone who tuned in. Our sincere thank you as well to Truck Center Companies, who is a fantastic supporter of all high school activities, and especially this state wrestling tournament. Also, a heartfelt thank you to the Nebraska School Activities Association and to Ron Higdon, who put on this amazing event. The CHI Center in Omaha is a fantastic venue, and we can't wait to see all of the great stories that come out of this weekend and the state wrestling tournament. Wherever you might be coming from, we're excited to have you in Omaha. Good luck to all the wrestlers, and thanks for watching tonight.